Good afternoon, y'all. I wanted to share an interesting story about something that happened to me the other day. So I was sitting around at home and I was having breakfast with my kids and we were having some milk, and I, just not paying attention, spilled a glass of milk. I knocked it over with my hand and milk just proceeded to get all over the table and make its way onto the floor. And I was very perturbed by what had just happened. I was bothered by it. We had to eat breakfast and get out the door and get somewhere, and so this was gonna, knock us back time wise and get us off schedule and all that. And so I was kind of emotional about the fact that this milk had spilled. But then you wouldn't believe that the craziest thing happened. As I'm thinking about all of this stuff and as I'm looking at obviously this less than ideal situation, the doorbell rang, and when I went to go answer it, there was somebody standing at the door with a mop and a bucket. And when I opened the door, they said, "I heard that you spilled some milk. Would you mind if I walked into the kitchen and if I cleaned that milk up for you?" And I said, "Sure, why not?" Okay, joke's over. That did not happen, right? But how many of us, is that the reaction that we have? How many of us, when something happens to us in life, like spilling milk, like being inconvenienced, like having a situation that is less than ideal, how many of us sit there and we just think about that particular situation and we stew over it and we fret over it? Like, why don't we just go and do what needs to be done? I mean, if milk gets spilled, it's simple. You clean it up. You get a mop, you get a bucket, you get paper towels, you do whatever you got to do, but you take care of it. You clean it up, you take care of it, and you move on. And so many of us, we're waiting for somebody to ring the doorbell with a mop and a bucket. How silly is that for us to do that? But that's what we do. Ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, nobody's sitting around waiting for me and going, "Oh, Mario just spilled milk. I've got nothing better to do today. Let me go over there and let me clean it." I mean, that stuff doesn't happen. We're responsible for our own actions. Whether we like what happened to us or not, whether we did it on purpose or not, whether it's fair and just or not, that doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that everybody's living their own lives. And the fact of the matter is that at the end of the day, we've got to deal with our own stuff. So empower yourself. This is where people get powerless, and this is where people become despaired and depressed, is when they've got a situation in front of them that they can easily handle themselves, but they're waiting and looking for somebody else to do it. Don't we know the course of action? Don't we know what we should be doing? Many times we often do. So why don't we just do that? Crying over spilled milk. Why? Why even waste our time? Just get the mop, get the bucket, clean it up, move on.